Tim are with us now to discuss some of the biggest headlines today. Did you watch it last night?
Wow!
Did you watch it last night? Heart in the mouth time, wasn't it?
The answer is no. Except only because I was out partying with our Poppy.
Of course.
Yeah, we had a little potato rave in town.
Good.
Then I got home.
Hang on a minute.
What were you doing?
What were you doing with Poppy in town?
Poppy and I were in town. We were at a party, a publishing party. A friend of ours, who's her publisher, had his birthday.
Poppy at a publishing party?
It was Poppy at a publishing party. And we had a lot of fun, because she is a lot of fun. And I like to be seen with an influencer, 1.3 million followers.
As you do.
I'm hoping some of it will rub off.
Enough about you.
So I got back home, put on the machine, and watched the most exciting game I have seen.
Okay.
And before that, I wasn't really keen on penalties, but the penalties were so exciting.
So dramatic.
It was incredible.
Couldn't have scripted it, could you?
And what I think is fascinating, somebody of my generation, is when I was a kid, we didn't even know there were female footballers. In recent years, I fell for Mary Earp.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've now pushed her sideways. Hannah Hampton.
Oh, the goalie.
Bring it on. The goalie.
She's amazing, isn't she?
She's amazing.
Didn't she save 2 of them?
Special mention in dispatches for Arsenal's Chloe Kelly.
There you
That's
go.
Oh, we love Chloe Kelly.
Arsenal's Chloe Kelly.
And Michelle.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean,
Michelle.
Russo. But Kelly she came on, she substituted, she was incredible. Like
2 great subs, actually.
Exactly. And then scored the goal. Yeah, I mean, penalties is always such a cruel way of going out. Like,
Yes.
it really is.
Except it's very exciting.
Great drama.
It is great drama. I know it's unfair, but actually in this case, it was absolutely just. And as it should be. And you know about these things. What are our chances again? Is the Italians on Tuesday?
Well, the Italians, I mean, it's interesting. The Italians, like England on paper, should beat the Italians.
Yeah.
The Italians have done very, very well.
Yep.
If England do go through, the chances are they'll probably play France or Spain.
Yeah.
Spain are the team to beat.
Yeah.
I mean, if you beat Spain, then, you know...
You're up there.
Yeah.
Done.
So...
For me, it was about the tale of 2 teenagers, though. On one hand, you had Michelle, who came on, and her first international goal, and you could just see...
Wow.
Oh, my God, it's unbelievable, isn't it? What a
incredible.
story, and the glee on her face. But then you had the Swedish young lady who took the final penalty, and it's always hard when you miss for your country at the end on such a decisive moment, and she missed the final one. And
Oh, dear. Who's that rather severe-looking headmistress on the sidelines? Oh, my God.
That's the manager.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
What I would say is about... There's something about the women's game that is far more inclusive, far more celebratory.
Yes.
There's far less tribalism.
Yeah.
You see the fans sat together.
There's not as much rolling around on the floor.
There's definitely not much wrong.
There were a few bits yesterday. There were a few bits with some tackles.
Which is never good. I hate seeing diving. I think it should be a straight red.
It's easier to follow, too, if, like me, you don't know a lot about it. You can actually see what's happening.
It's the same game, Giles.
I know
It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be a stretch for you.
But frankly, it is easier to follow. And I think it is amazing that 10 years ago, nobody'd heard of it, and now we are all genuinely into it.
But now I think you've got players like Lucy Bronze who come on and they really epitomise what hardcore football is all about for whether you're male or female watchers of the game. She came on with the resilience. She was determined to score that penalty. She was not going to let it go. And she scored a brilliant game across the piece. Me and my wife were screaming, annoying our neighbours. It was a great game.
It's great. Do you know what I would say? Just even from a girl's perspective, it's so great to see guys so into the females, the women's football, because that's where it's come. It's come a long, long way. And there was a time when I don't know if it was taken as seriously. So it's awesome.
Definitely. And also, to be fair, the standards got a lot better.
Yeah, of course. Well, resources have got better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You talk about it being a tale of 2 teenagers. Would you give them the vote?
Oh, here we go.
Hang on a minute.
Controversial.
It is the next one. Before we go, you can watch the Women's Euro semi-final, England versus Italy, live and exclusive on ITV1 and ITVX 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Should you give teenagers the vote? I can't wait for this. This is going to be a cracker, right?
Well, so they're working, they're potentially paying taxes, aren't they? You could...
Just for the background, voting age across the UK is going to be reduced to 16. This is going to be the general election in 2029, meaning children that are currently 12 will be the first 16-year-olds able to vote. Thoughts?
My thoughts are quite simple. There's a reason why, if you want to call this programme, you have to be over 18. If you want to take part in a competition with this programme, you have to be over 18. If you want to get married, you have to be 18. It used to be 16, or I think once upon a time it could be 14. Because, in fact, it's been raised to 18 quite recently.
Correct.
Because a lot of research has been done about maturity, the way the mind is working, frontal cortex, not fully developed when you're in your 20s. And actually, it's a big decision how you vote. You need to see things in the round, you need to have some life experience. So my feeling is, my wife would say, votes at 45, maybe 52. That would be her view. I would say genuinely 18 or 21. I think younger than 18 is too young, in my estimation.
But if you are working and paying taxes, if you can serve in the military, if you can drink alcohol with a meal, if they're with someone that's over 18, if you can drive a moped, you can leave home, you can buy a pet. Does that not surely? I mean, I think there should be a blanket age that if you can drink, if you can serve in the military, if you can work and pay taxes, then you should be able to vote. Now, I don't know what that age is, but I think it should be uniform across the board. It seems quite inconsistent to be able to.
And I think that is the point. It's the inconsistency. I agree with you. There should be one level age limit where you can do everything that will differentiate you from being a child, right? And you get to this stage where you are. My challenge is this. I'm a father of a 15-year-old son. I love him to death, but I don't think he's ready to vote on whether or not we should be part of the European Union or other things like that, because I just don't think he's ready in terms of life experience for those particular questions. I think there may be a step we could incorporate where you're involved in local elections, and that would be the testing ground. My big worry across the piece with regards to voting is that there's a huge amount of apathy in this country. On the last year's elections, only 65% of us actually went out to vote. 3 million people just didn't even turn up.
Yeah, but is that because it's so confusing? I mean, I will admit, even I find it confusing. I'm in my late 30s, and I think maybe I wish I was being taught it at school. Because if it's lowered to 16, there might be a thing where it's almost enforced that they will have to start teaching as politics at a younger age, so we understand.
I think it's a great point, right, but I think it should be the other way around. We should do the teaching first and then get them. So you're forced to leave school when you're 18. Therefore, you've had the education, you know what's happening, you know your impact of potentially voting, then you can go out and do the actual act.
You're not forced to leave. You have to stay in full-time education until you're 18, or maybe even 19. So, I mean, the idea is, we think you can't really get married until you're 18. These are big decisions. You want to keep an education until you're 18. So I think 18 probably is the right age.
If someone would have offered me a vote when I was 16, I would have bitten their hand off. And in one respect, we talk about apathy.
Yeah.
Getting a 16-year-old involved in politics by giving them the power to vote is, that was the opposite of inducing apathy.
But I think for me, it's a big step. It's like
huge.
If you're a parent, you're at 2 schools of 4. When you're teaching your children to swim, do you take them slowly in the shallow end and help them to do the stroke, or do you throw them off at the deep end and hope that they're going to survive?
I know what I'd like to do.
It depends which day I wake up. Exactly, right? But the reality is, I think we should think about this as a step change. Teach them at school what it means, the impact they're going to have. Let them get involved in local stuff, and then progress and mature to when they're right to do it at 18 and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. Let's get angry now. Because, honestly, I've got a parking fine at the minute, and that makes me fuming. And now everyone's talking about the airport drop-off fees. They're getting out of control.
How we walked into this being a thing.
I don't understand. You used to just be able to drop someone off at the airport. And we were discussing this, saying maybe there's some merit in the pickup, because a pickup, you could be hours waiting for a flight, right? But when you drop off, you are literally there to drop off, bags out the car and go. So what is going on across the UK here?
It's ridiculous. This what they call kiss and fly charges, where you drop somebody off, you're taking your mum, your partner, or whoever it is, going to the airport, and the second you get near an airport, you breathe close to an airport terminal, they're going to charge you with a fine. It's ridiculous.
Disgusting.
It's unbelievable. I think what we have to get to the point of the traffic and congestion at airports is really ridiculous. And sometimes if you're in a rush and you want to drop somebody off, that can be hazardous. But to have these fees, I just think it's wrong, Giles.
The idea behind it is to encourage people to use public transport.
It isn't the idea behind it. It's what they say the idea behind it. The idea behind it is they can maximise as much money out of us as they possibly can.
That's an incidental benefit to them.
No, that's absolute rubbish. They're in the airport industry. They do not.
They don't care about it.
That isn't their main focus.
And it must be, I'm on a line that leads to Heathrow Airport. If you try to go on the underground, you're surrounded by people with huge cases who seem to be moving home so it is fraught with difficulty. So you're against this, are you? This extra 5
I just think it's a tax on people. I think it's an unfair tax on people dropping someone at an airport.
Yeah.
It's like... I can't see how I think it's unjust.
It's ridiculous. And the vast majority of people, if you're going away for 2 weeks, you're not going to travel on the underground, as lovely as that might sound, and you know you can't get a seat on some of these trains. You can't. 8 out of 10...
At my age, you always can. They're so sweet, people. Sometimes people, I think, look older than me offering me that.
He just hands it up as soon as he gets on. Oh, you're doing very well.
But what is interesting is this £1 per minute drop-off rate.
£1 a minute?
Yes, for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Actually, it's the cost of a return flight from Manchester to Turkey in August is cheaper on a per minute basis.
Well, then
ridiculous.
surely
It's
it's
cheaper per
ridiculous.
minute to go to Turkey than it is to drop off at the
Lost
airport.
our minds.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Oh, today's big news story, Charlotte.
This is the one where you're looking through your eyes at, but you just can't stop. We love the drama. One couple's paradise has quickly turned into an absolute panic during a recent Coldplay concert in America. It seems, allegedly, that they've been caught out getting very cosy on camera, and by none other than the lead singer of Coldplay himself, Chris Martin. I mean, it couldn't be worse. Have a look at this.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
I mean, Chris Martin clearly says that as a bit of a joke, and then the reality is that actually it looks
listen,
like it could be true.
We have first-hand experience here because poor Lady Brandreth, every time she turns on Gogglebox, she has to see this one sat next to a Hancock
Or a Lulu.
Lippmann or a Lulu or a Lovely.
Lulu, and we were quite close. Lulu and I really did get quite close and cozy. Let me explain what the situation is here.
Yeah, go on.
We've identified this man. He's the CEO, Andy Byron, of a company called Astronomer. They are a big AI company. I think the whole thing could be actually an AI invention.
He will now use that excuse.
Are you on the payroll? Are you on the payroll?
Look at the eyes, it's the eyes that kill me.
She is the chief people officer. Basically, what she was saying, can we rehearse, hug your colleague on Friday at work? And they're giving it a go. All it is a little instant hug. And then when Chris Martin points out that they're hugging, she suddenly loses her contact lens, has to be on the floor finding it, and he has an urgent call to make to his wife. That seems to have
This
set
is
up.
the slippery skills we used to see in government.
I was going to say.
I'm sure you're probably an NED for this company.
I
You're
couldn't
on the
possibly
board
comment.
somewhere. The challenge, I really feel sorry for the alleged allegations, obviously, but their partner.
I know.
Because if you're watching that now, and it's been around every single WhatsApp group, I think, in the whole world now.
This is
and you're thinking,
worldwide. It's worldwide.
How do you explain this? Now, you might have hug a colleague for work Fridays, as you might said, but I know if my wife saw me in an embrace like that at any kind of concert, I wouldn't be coming home anytime soon.
No.
For me, I don't think it was written in the stars for this company to be involved. It wasn't planned, was it?
No, a lot of comments are saying if they'd have just carried on almost, it wouldn't have escalated like this. If they'd have waved or smiled and laughed it off.
They managed to look guilty, didn't they?
No,
That's
panic
the
was
problem.
there.
Do you know what the best thing, sorry, Giles, is the friend who's standing next to them who actually makes it even worse because there's no way that could be hidden now because she knows, she's telling the whole world, I know,
my gosh.
and now you know, and it's the friend next to her who does her in.
And
who needs friends when you've got friends like this? It
just
moves over.
laughing.
Look, that's the one. She's like, oh no, you've got caught. Allegedly.
Now she disappears.
Allegedly.
Who's that guy? Why is he celebrating?
Well, he just thinks he's on camera. He's missed the drama, hasn't he? He's like, we're on camera.
He's the deputy chief people officer. Thinking, this is my opportunity.
I'm going to be chief tomorrow.
Oh, shall we move swiftly on?
Swiftly
I don't want to get
on,
anyone into any
swiftly
trouble. Hosepipe bans, which is something that seems to be a British institution. Every year we have this. It wouldn't be summer without the hosepipe ban.
Indeed.
But now that people are questioning, would you dob in your neighbour if they were breaking the ban? More than 8 million people across England are going to be under the hosepipe ban by Tuesday, apparently. Because is this just because of another heat wave? Then?
Correct, because we're currently in the middle of a heat wave. Both of us are defying it because we're wearing jumpers. We don't care. We're strong kids. But the reality is that across the country, there is a hosepipe ban. I love the fact there's a hosepipe ban. It means we're actually having a summer for a change. The reality is that you usually get 2 days of sunshine and the water ban never exists.
If you breach the hosepipe ban, it can cost you up to £1,000 and a fine.
Is that right?
And you used a phrase that I'm not familiar with. Would you dob in your neighbour? What does this mean?
Dob 'em in, you know what that means.
I don't know what dob 'em
Yes,
is.
you
It's too
do,
posh.
Giles.
I've watched Only Fools and Horses. Many episodes. I don't recall this phrase.
Would you grass them up? Would you?
I'll
tell
grass them up.
Yeah.
They'll snitch on them.
Snitch.
Yeah.
Would you snitch?
No, I don't think I would. I'd lean over the fence and say, well, that seems to be all right for you.
Would you
but
do
over
a
here
loud-
we've got...
A loud tut.
I'd do a loud tap. Would you actually dob... Is it dob in or dob,
Dob
on
in.
them?
Dob 'em in.
Dob
Dob 'em
'em
in.
Would you dob
I
'em in?
wouldn't dob somebody in because I don't think that's the way to do it. But
Snitches get stitches.
there you go, exactly. That's what we're having.
Oh, don't mess
Have
with
you
your
heard that one?
O'Learys.
No, snitches get stitches. Means you come around. Hey, the world you people live in.
I tell you my bigger issue with this
Go on.
is that these companies are so profligate.
Well,
Have been giving out bonuses for years and now got these racking up these debts. it's a monopoly in all but name. This isn't real privatisation. If I don't want to be with Thames, I've got no choice. And then they've got the gall to turn around and find someone.
We were saying the same thing in the...
Earlier he turned on the airports. Yeah. Now he's turning on the water companies.
I think he's 100% right. The reality is that we have allowed these companies to drain huge amounts of money and resources away from normal people whose bills are only going to increase and now facing the potential of fines. I think it is unbelievably diabolical that we're even in this situation.
With you about the water companies, but this is an issue where there are bans in place because we've got to preserve water. And the idea of the £1,000...
the reason why we're preserving water...
The £1,000... I know that, but the situation is that there is a shortage of water. Yeah. And therefore we have to have these bans. And the fine is to make sure that everybody actually obeys the rules.
Physician, heal thyself.
I'm with you on that. But for this year, we have a hosepipe ban. What do?
You don't find people.
You don't find people?
No.
Then
I don't think that...
Then why that gives us all the incentive just to spray the water everywhere?
Well, you ask people not to do it, but I think morally they're in no position to be fining anyone.
Correct. And most people don't take water and throw it down the drain willy-nilly. They're either washing a car, they're washing their clothes, they're doing normal things. The reality is the only reason we're in this state is because we have an infrastructure that is so decrepit because the money has been taken away from fixing the resources and that we have to put menial fines on normal individuals.
So, Timmy, there's a lot of it because there's not good enough systems. Is it just been wasted, like leaking and that kind of thing?
Leakage.
I didn't realise that. I didn't realise.
Huge amounts of leakage. The reality is that our national river is polluted, and all of this is because we haven't reinvested into one of our most important resources.
They will deny this. They will say, I'm just on their behalf, that they've actually invested billions, and it is a huge problem. And some of these water companies are on the brink of bankruptcy anyway. I think they're in real trouble. So it is a big issue. But this, I think, is a slightly separate issue, the hosepipe ban. And I basically am in favour of obeying the law.
What I would say is, apparently, I think it was David Dominy, we did a piece on it last year, and he said, don't worry about watering your garden, because we've got a rain butt that comes down, so we sort of store our water with the rain butt. But he said, in terms of turning your hose on from the mains, he said, the grass is going to come back, so you don't need to worry about watering your... plants may be a thing, but you're actually just watering your garden.
Oh, so you can be relaxed about it. It's not a big issue.
Huh?
The hosepipe ban isn't a big issue.
Well, he's saying you don't need to worry too much about watering your garden because your garden will come back.
Good. Nature will win. But
also,
you're doing your bit because you haven't had to wash your jumper for 40 years. You're doing your bit already. It's good.
Now the truth has been revealed. I thought privately.
Wolf in sheep's clothing, this one.
With a colleague and a friend, while we were hugging downstairs before we were caught on camera, I admitted that my jumpers often don't get washed at all. And I have some that are 40 years old that have never been to the laundry. But I don't wear them that often.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
They're always in amazing condition. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Because he keeps his collection like anyone would keep anything they cherished. For example, a DVD. DVD's making a comeback. 2024 been the busiest year for DVD sales in the last 5 years. Yeah. So this is, I guess, down to Gen Z embracing nostalgia, increasingly buying DVDs, making the outdated form of media popular again. But the quality isn't any better than you would watch. So it's not like vinyl. So is it because of all the extras, I suppose, maybe on the DVD?
There's also an element of sheer nostalgia.
Yeah.
Remembering, we've got, among the DVDs, we've got a box set of the Carry On films. Box set. And we've been showing it to the grandchildren. Yeah. And there have to be quite a few trigger warnings. It's a kind of social history of our world. Yeah. And there's a feeling of actually opening the box set, putting it in the machine, kicking it down. Actually, am I talking about DVDs? Or I'm talking about tapes. I'm talking about tapes where you have to actually screw the tape back. Yes.
TDK 90s.
I've discovered also that my shellac 78 records are now out of date.
Gramophone.
I've got a gramophone that does 78s, 45s, 33s. With some old... These things are lovely. Yeah. And there's something about listening to something you remembered using the same device.
Yes.
Yeah.
The show is the same. But it brings it all back. I think I like a bit of nostalgia.
It's nice, but it's sitting in a box in the loft collecting dust. That's the reality.
Maybe they'll be worth something, though. Maybe
we should speak to Jordan about this, because he might know.
Some of them will be, because there's certain shows you can't get on the streaming platforms that only exist on DVD. So, yeah, I'm a big fan.
They're getting worth a bit of money as well, though, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Thank you, you two.
Thank you.
That's it.
Happy
I'm off
Friday.
to Broadstairs. Just
Oh,
thought I'd mention
wonderful.
that.
Oh, how lovely.
This weekend in Broadstairs. Do you remember Edward Heath, the Prime
Yeah.
Minister? Ted Heath.
He was a sailor, wasn't he?
He was a sailor, and he conducted, and he was a Prime Minister in 1970, became Prime Minister, and he was born in Broadstairs, brought up in Broadstairs, and we have a celebration called the Ted Fest. Nobody knows who he is, but we go there and we celebrate, and it's a charity. He's got a house in Salisbury that we help save, and there's money for young people getting into music and into
wow.
sailing that we do. So it's a lovely weekend in Broadstairs, and no airport drop-off charge.
No.
Just
Love that.
taking the train.
No
to
Broadstairs drop-off charge?
Nope, they just love you in Broadstairs. Yeah, that's where I'll
have a lovely
Oh,
time.
yeah, you enjoy yourself. Get an ice cream. Go with Mr. Whippy.
Hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.